or die.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And we're outside. I know. What's with the change, Sneha? Why are we doing this? Well, today's recording is going to be a much more casual recording in and of itself. The reason being, it's going to be just full on me talking with no edits. I'm going to try my best because if you haven't noticed, last week I was not able to record at all because of just work, and same thing is happening this week. But I was like, no, I have to get out an episode, and this was the easiest way for me to get out an episode, was just to do one shot and just record and no stopping and no edits. So if there are any me coughing or I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best. Anyways, the past week, it's been good. If you are from the northeast of the Mercas, it's getting hotter. And when I'm saying hotter, there's days here, and it was funny. My husband was like, oh, it's so hot like India. I'm like, whoa. It's not hot like India. We're only in the 70s. The only reason it seems like it's hot is because it's like cold one day, freezing cold, and the next day it's hot. Like today, in and of itself, as I'm recording this, it is like, when I was saying hot, like I was wearing my shorts and it was still hot. It was getting to the 80s. So that's just an idea. But it's like on and off the weather. Not really happy. I'm more excited for the summertime when it's just hot all the time. But fun and exciting news right there, and fun stuff. But the discussion today, last week I honestly, there was nothing for me to talk about. There was the NFL draft. It's not the draft, is it? It's where they're like asking for college kids to come join us. And I think it's drafting, right? And I thought that was really funny watching it because obviously, depending on who you are, you're viewing that in a totally different perspective. And it was hilarious to watch. I'm not sure of the football player's name, and guess what? You're not going to get a video here nor there because this is a quick edit here, folks. If you have seen already or if you haven't. So what happens is a lot of these picks, they will get called, I believe, by the coach or the person that owns the company, and I'm pretty much sure it's the coach. But they will call them ahead of time saying like, hey, bud, we're about to pick you right here. Okay, I don't know why I put a country accent, but they always talk in a country accent, I'm telling you. And they'll be like, okay, we're about to pick you right here. And it's like, they're like, all right, coach, sounds good. And then all of a sudden on the TV, it's like that noise. Ding, ding, ding. That was not the tune at all. Like when that was not the tune. But then they'll be like, as the 11th draft for something, we pick Rogers Raj, you know what I mean? And that's how it is. So as you can tell, like, people are watching. Some people are there in the auditorium place, and then some people are at home. I think it just has a location thing, because if somebody's nearby or they can't afford to come, they will. Anyways, there are ones where they're at home. So what happens is that, it's nice. It's really cute. It's like the family, the kid, I say kid, but it's a college student or the man or the whatever, is standing or sitting on the sofa, and then like the family members are all around, and it's like a reaction video, right? And if you guys didn't know or didn't see, I'll tell you after. So one of the players, there was a reaction, and it was kind of him, his mama, and then his girlfriend, right? And then on this side, I really don't know, not relevant. I'm so sorry, but I bet, bless you. So what happened was they were all excited, right? Super duper excited. And this is the danger of social media. And this is why it's important, like, if something is blowing up, to see the full context of that video. And what I'm talking about specifically is, so obviously they announced it on TV, and he got the call beforehand, and then all of a sudden, people on social media were so, like, really at it at the mom. And the reason why is because in the video in which it's spreading throughout social media, right? And everyone is taking a snippet of the video. That was the weird thing. It's like, it's not like every video is the same. Like some people are taking a little bit longer, some are shorter. And it was like pretty much portraying the mom, that the mom didn't want the girlfriend to congratulate the boyfriend, if that makes sense. And like, because the reason why in that particular snippet of the video, you will see that the mom's all hugging the son, which respectfully so, that's the mama, you know what I mean? She's the one who raised him, and the girlfriend's there. She's excited, and you can see her like reaching over, being like, you know what I mean? But like obviously the mom is there, so she's not able to hug him. But the thing is, the mom, if you actually watch the full video, the mom eventually, like obviously from the excitement hugging her son, she also hugs the girlfriend and like hugs her and hugs him at the same exact time, being like, oh, you're involved in this too, you know what I mean, congratulations. But like obviously from pure excitement, you're gonna hug your son and just be like super super excited, you know what I mean? But and thing is, they're young too. It's not like this, I mean, unless they're married. I don't know, I didn't catch all that. But like, unless you're married, then it'd just be like, oh, okay, I could see why the girlfriend's not in the middle. But like, unless you're married, you're not in the middle. I'm sorry. Those are for parents or like real, like family. But I just thought it was weird because like the mom did accept the girlfriend, but everyone else on social media was just like blowing up because they could only see that snippet of the video and were like, oh, what a bad lady. Like, oh, so jealous, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, relax, people, relax. But I know that's old information and old news, so I'm just gonna, I just wanted to bring it up from last week. But, you know, in terms of for all the other topics and discussions, you know, this week, just want to talk about relax. Actually, we got, as you can see, we're at the deck. We, not me, we. We're on the apartment deck, and we actually got this fake grass from Home Depot. I'm not even going to talk about it. No, I have to talk about it. The amount of fake grass that's at Home Depot, you would be surprised. And we got the cheapest one. That was not the intent. There was one that was softer. Like, I don't know how to explain this texture, and I can't show you on the video. But it's like a harder texture, which now going back, I don't regret this decision. But at that time, there was like this, they're all fake grass, by the way. It's all fake grass, and there's some bougie fake grass, okay? When I say bougie, not the quality, but the price. There was like $20 per square feet, and like over here, I use my iPhone to measure my deck. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, how accurate is this iPhone? So I'm like, let me just measure it again. And of course, different measurements. And then I told the guy at Home Depot, I'm like, well, I measured it once. And then I measured it twice, and it grew like 5 inches. So I'm going to take the average or at least a little bit higher. But anyways, I measured it, and the amount of math we were performing to figure out how much space is here. I'm like, oh my God, the algebra, the geometry is all coming together now. This is the time to show, because I was horrible. Okay. You know, those what is it? In Connecticut, we had like a different exam during our sophomore year, but pretty much it's like a square and then another square, but it's like pretty much is one, it's like almost like an apartment layout, and you have to determine the size of this small square based off of the big square. And now I understand that math, but at that time that was a struggle. But anyways, back to the carpet. So it's not carpet, it's, well, yeah, technically it's carpet, but it's like a tarpish kind of thing, and it just makes it like a little bit extra. And then we got these chairs, the currently one I'm sitting on, and guess what? Big brain. Could be disgusting, but you know what? I'm accepting it. So what happened was I had this idea, and I was like, oh, okay, what can I do? And I was like, man, and I was looking online. I'm like, oh my God, why are just 2 chairs $300? And the reason why, it's the other important thing to note is that like this is an apartment, and on top of that, this is a small deck, and whatever is going on this deck may or may not, like if we move, be able to move to a new place, right? So I'm like, oh, we're spending this money to continue and keep using it for many, many years, or is it just for a one-time occurrence? So in our town, we got spring cleaning. And I was just like, we were walking around, and thing is, everyone obviously as normal, like even in our household, everyone was throwing away the garbage at the very last minute. Totally love that for them. And you know, You know where this is going. Uh, so when keep in mind, like all the time, like every year, somehow every year, how explain to me that every year we have something to throw away, but hoarders. Usually every year during the spring cleaning time and fall cleaning, there are people that come in these trucks. Like when I'm telling you trucks, the pickup trucks, like the lorries or whatever that like have like the space in the back. Some people came in these bougie vans, like the rental vans, those things. And I was like, wow, okay, people are serious. And what they're doing is they are going around and checking if people are throwing away valuable things. And it could be paintings, it could be TVs. I remember a long time ago, I think how my parents explained it is that some old TVs, like in the back of them, there used to be like these gold, like this piece would have a little bit of gold in it. So some people would smash the TVs. I remember for one of our really old TVs, someone had did that, but like people will do this. And people, like, I think even like we threw away a old fridge in our house and someone came and picked it up and we're just like, oh, okay. And the thing is, like, it's a normal thing. It's not like an abnormal thing, but usually it's like you don't see normal okay, maybe not say normal. What I mean by that is it's like you see like the dedicated people that are planning to sell these items come around. So of course, me being me, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to spend money on this. And then I was like, wait, what if somebody's like just like let out perfectly good chairs? This is possible. This is feasible. The reason why I say that is because, like, obviously a lot of people throw away stuff that have like rusted and are like no good no more, especially during the summertime, right? The summertime, or right before summertime, springtime, because they're like, oh, it's summertime. Let me open up my pools. Let me open up my space, a barbecue area. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, that's nasty, So they may be like, oh, I probably need to throw away these chairs or these tables and all stuff. There were some places that were like, they got some good chairs meaning like dining room table chairs. I was like, what? This is like a perfectly good wooden set. And I was just like, but that's not focus. Eye on the prize, right? Because my main focus was beach barbecue chairs, not beach chairs. Beach chairs are lounging, right? No. That's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for, patio deck furniture. Anyways, we searched. Even after church, we searched. And we were looking everywhere. Oh, God, why is that man driving so fast? Okay, sorry. We're near the highway. So we looked. And we found a set of chairs. And let me explain to you what happened. My mom, it was actually on our street. Keep in mind, Tony and I were looking like over like many streets, like just in case, just for that luck, nothing. And funnily enough, that day that we came from church, it was the day where I guess one of our like people on our street also were throwing away their garbage. And I was like, wait, those chairs look pretty good. They look pretty good. But me being me, having no guts, I'm like, should we do it, guys? I don't know. It's kind of weird. The person's outside. How will they feel? Because, I feel like some people may feel some type of way. You know what I mean? Because, hear me out. Some people during spring cleaning, right before they do spring cleaning, you know what they do? They do a tag sale or no, it's called a tag sale, isn't it? So a tag sale, and they'll sell everything that they own. And, that is great and that is smart, especially if you have perfectly good things to do, like things to do. If you have perfectly good things, it's a good idea to just sell. And even if it's like $1, it's $1. Hey, what are you losing? So not everyone does that. Once again, it's just definitely one of those situations where it's like a one-off scenario. But I do feel that, like, if somebody were to like put out like a perfectly good chair or some XYZ, it's like they're feeling some type of way that we're getting it for free. But once again, if you're choosing to throw it away, like even like our family, like if we choose to throw it away, it's like we're like, well, we don't want it. If someone else wants it, go ahead. We just don't want it in our house. That kind of scenario. So what happened was, everyone was like, well, I'm not getting out of the car. Well, I'm not getting out of the car. And we're just like, well, I guess no one's getting out of the car. And I was like, goodbye, chair. And I really thought, I was like, ugh, let me just go around another neighborhood and see if there's somewhere else. It really, truly was, because I broke my chair. See, that was a piece of my chair that I just threw out the door. Not the door. There is no door. That's just the opening. But Sorry, I had to put my thoughts together because there was too many thoughts. This is what happens, guys. When I'm editing, see this? Like the moment I just paused, I just cut that out because I'll just be so overwhelming myself with thoughts in my brain that I'm just like, whoa, Sneha, slow down. But what happened was, after the fact, we go around the neighborhood, and then my mom's like, no, just Sneha, just go back, go back. I have no problem taking it. And I asked Tony, like, do you have a problem taking it? And he's like, no, I don't have a problem taking it. And now, after we left, everyone else had a problem in the initial thing. But now that we're not fighting each other, they're like, no, we can do it. We can do it. And I'm like, but what if that other guy, guess what? Another guy that's when I talked about the rented van. Somebody came out with a full-on van. And not like you're thinking like small van. No. Like, those vans that you can rent out that like 12 people can go in and it has the high ceilings? Yeah, that one. And I was just shocked. Obviously he doesn't have the seats in the middle, but like, I was just like, oh my gosh, he took the chairs. And he came right after us. And I was like, Mommy, no, he took it. And then we turned in and we circled back. And I was just like, oh, let me just go in. Keep in mind, it's been like 5-10 minutes later. That dude is still there, but he's about to leave. And I was like, thank Jesus Christ. And they go and get the 2 chairs. There was definitely more. It was like a set. But Mom's like, oh, but there's this cute table. I'm like, focus. We have space? None. There's enough space on this deck for 2 chairs. So we got the chairs, and honestly, my mom was like, "Oh yeah, it's a little putty, meaning like it's a little breakage like here and there, but it's not bad." And I will say, it's not bad. I cleaned it down with like some Lysol wipes. If I hope that's good enough. And honestly, it's good. Like every single day now, we've been sitting on our deck and watching outside the world. And there's no world. It's literally the forest, and then our neighbors' patios and windows. So it's not the world. But in terms of like breakage, I'm looking at a chair right here. It's kind of like. Let me see if I can break one off right now because it's sticking out. No, I can't. It's like these like woven kind of basket situation, and where it's the side. And what I mean by the side, it's kind of like if you were to keep stacking your chairs every winter, and those places would kind of touch each other and break, if that makes sense, because it's like plastic. But overall, other than that, like the chairs are good. Like the actual place you're sitting on, the backrest, everything else is fine. It's just a very specific area of this chair. But yeah, that was the first time that's ever happened to me, that I've ever actually done that. And it was fun. It was exciting. And I was so happy. I was like, yay, chairs and for free. But then what my logic does? Have you guys heard of girl math? Oh, it's bad. And I was girl mathing so hard. I was like, so obviously I got these chairs for free. And I was telling Tony, so obviously we have the grass. Okay? Put that in mind. Think of fake grass in your head. Not too long. Like this big, okay? That grass, put these chairs. You can't see these chairs, but woven chairs. And that's a scenario in a small space. And then it's like, oh, it would be so cute if you had some plants. Or it'd be so cute if you had a little table. It's so cute. And then Tony's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, what are you talking about? Because obviously we got these chairs first before we got the grass. And so we were at Home Depot and I was just thinking. And then he's like, no. We don't need to buy all that. Like, it's already a small space. Excuse me, I burped. It's already a small space. So why? And I'm like, but that's not the point. Like I was telling him, I'm like, but in my head, I was already planning to spend this much money for these chairs. So technically I didn't spend that money yet. I got it for free. So then technically I can spend it on other things like a table or flowers. See, this is the brain. That's how it is. Like, even though I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to spend it. Once I found out I got these chairs for free, I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter now. Like I can spend it on something else. I think it's just the chairs. That was the only thing, but it was funny in my logic there. It was like, okay, let me just spend it somewhere else. But yeah, it's fun, and I love sitting out here. It's nice. It's just like, it's not too loud in this apartment complex area, so it's nice just to be here in the morning and at nighttime. Luckily right now there's no mosquitoes as of yet. Oh, knock on wood, there is no wood near me. So that will definitely be really even better if there is no mosquitoes. But right now in this spring weather, it's great. It's doing good. But anyways, I'm trying to do one full loop, so that's going to be 25 minutes, fun fact. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? In terms of for work and commuting, I guess then question wise, a huge thing, and I know this is such a serious topic right after getting free chairs, but in terms of for work and everything, I know some of you have been working full time in the office or full time wherever you've been working. Some of you have been fully remote. Some of you have been hybrid. I personally have been hybrid and have to go into the office twice a week. For you guys, how is it for you? Is it something where slowly, your companies have been going fully in person? Wow, that one took me a really long time to think about. Fully in person, or is it something where they're just fully going to stay hybrid, or is it going to be remote forever? Because a lot of discussion has been happening about people applying to jobs recently, especially because a lot of people are getting laid off, and how people are really looking for those hybrid remote jobs. But realistically, is that the best way to be applying to jobs? Me personally, yeah, but that's also another topic of how long will that company stay remote, or how long will that company be hybrid? And that is a good question, and that is a good point for people that are applying for jobs. But it is quite interesting because I feel like personally going to work, there are jobs that need it. It's mandatory. Of course, if you're a doctor, you need to go to the office. You know what I mean? And maybe you can do like the computer consultations, but not every single thing can just be done consultation wise online. But there are jobs that you can truly just do fully online, right? And what bothers me is for those jobs, they just want to, some companies, not all, want to do it where it's like, oh, we need to pay for a lease or we have an expense, so you guys should come in. Whereas it's not a thing of like, oh, well, actual balance of life. The one thing I like about where I'm working currently, it's kind of like a time to like see people, because it takes 2.5 hours and, one way. So pretty much I'm dedicating 5 hours to commuting to my job on top of the 8 hours I'm working. But it's good to see people and see their faces, see how they're doing and all that stuff, rather than just always thinking about work, which is a great thing, but it also gives time. And one thing I love is like one day is mandatory and one day is like you can pick what day you want. So it's whatever's working for your schedule, and it's really, really good. But how is your schedule like? And is your company changing, or your company's going through layoffs? If you don't remember from a previous episode, there is a link. Remember to type in your state and then WARN, WARN, and you can see the government website in which it shows what is being actually, how do you say, the state is preparing for layoffs from a certain company or a certain amount of companies, because there are so many layoffs of number and quantity being happening. So definitely would recommend looking at that. If you're ever in fear or want to know if your company is one of those individuals, or individual is not an individual, it's a company, but if one of your companies is definitely going to go through layoffs. But I am trying to think. See that thing? See what I just did right there? I do that a lot during my my podcast recordings, and literally just be like me listening and I'm like just like skip oh, cut cut. So I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to all listeners on my podcast. Just listening to audio right now, I know sometimes my audio, when I cut up all my audio, it just comes up a little chappy, but when you watch the video, you'll definitely understand why it's choppy, and it just makes a lot more sense. But audio-wise, I totally understand. And I think, what else? I'm trying to think. Obviously, this is much more relaxed, but life's been good. What else can there be? Oh man, I'm going to have to chop this portion off. Me being in awkward silence. This is me in voice recordings. I'm going to have to chop that off. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to. I said minimal, right? There was just a really awkward pause of me just listening, and it just reminded me of the voice recordings. And that's pretty much, if you didn't know, and if you're new to this podcast and you haven't watched the first episode, totally fine. I wouldn't either. the reason why I started this podcast in the beginning was I talk a lot. And when I say I talk a lot is I choose not to text. If I can, that's the best thing, because sometimes for me to express myself, I just have to talk, 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 talk. And typing limits my talking because then my hands and my fingers start getting to hurt. So that is the reason why I do not actually, if you see me send a voice recording, that's why. And if you allow me to, I will keep sending voice recordings. Like, I will keep talking for 5 minutes per recording, and you can ask a lot of people. They'll be like, listening just to in that and of itself is a podcast. And so I was like, oh, why don't I just keep talking about my thoughts and what I think about certain things and what's going on in the world, and just like what I would talk about with my friends. But I know my podcast episodes have been very serious and like talking about the news thing. And that's just, something to talk about, some new topics to talk about every single week. But then also, I don't mind having like these kinds of conversations where it's, just me talking about me taking chair from somebody's lawn and cleaning it up as my own. But yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed these episodes thus far. And I'm hoping to eventually invite Tony. He's over there. Not there, after the window, and other people on my podcast to interview, and maybe it could be just one of these like casual conversations like on the deck and be like speaking with Sneha on deck, but then the podcast name would have to change. Okay, scratch that. I mean, I guess it could be Mindful Tangents on the deck. No. But yeah, I definitely have plans to invite other people on the podcast, kind of to have discussions, and let me know. Like, I know obviously I say let me know, but I truly do want to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys want to either DM me on my Instagram page or leave a comment down below, I'm happy to take any suggestion on what topics you guys want me to talk about, or talk with other people if I'm uncomfortable to talk about myself. And talk with others or talk about it by myself if you want to hear from just me, and go through that in one episode. And definitely don't forget always to like and share the video. If you guys haven't noticed, I don't know, I posted it on my TikTok and I'll post it on my Instagram. One of the videos blew up. Not sure what happened there, but YouTube, I love you. Thank you so much. But I appreciate everyone's support, and especially if someone takes the time, and if you are one of those people that are just messaging me and saying like, oh, I just watched your episode or anything, I just get so happy and I'm so excited. But, we're at the end of the episode. I was able to go on 500 tangents. You've seen the raw Sneha. I mean, you probably already seen the raw Sneha if you met me in real life. But, thank you so much for watching. You see why there's edits. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay, bye.